I bet they can hear you now. Yeah, Sarah's got
Yay!
it. All right.
Great.
Okay, and so they also can see your hands because what I've done is I've put the phone on the camera, so they're actually watching your hands on my phone, and then they'll watch my hands next to you. So I think we're good. Gina says add some music and she's fine. She'll just watch her hands. Okay, so I think that we are actually good, other than there's a little bit of, I think, light glare on the phone, maybe, so they won't see your hands the best, but I think we're set. I think we can do this, Nani.
Yay!
Now that they've been here for a half hour watching our technical snafus. You guys are the best. We are going to give away a prize at the end. You must be present to win. Or maybe just because you've been here.
It's not coming with us.
I like giving away prizes.
Right there.
I know. I like giving away prizes. I think prizes are fun. So, Nani, tell us what you're going to be teaching me today.
So I'm going to teach you, Kelly, and you all watching, some visible mending, which means that you can now save your favorite jeans from the trash can while trying to save the planet and being environmentally friendly. Look at that.
The funny thing is, I just
So-
threw away my favorite pair of jeans like 2 weeks ago, so I really could have used
I did the same thing, so I don't have anything to show. So that's why I'm having this weird scraps of fabric on my table right now.
Mm.
So I chose really odd colors because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. But other than that, feel free to choose anything with patterns, without patterns, something that fits your piece that you're trying to mend, or something that will give some contrast. It's up to you and how you like to style your stuff. Main thing is that you need a second fabric to fix the one that is older and through wearing and going roundabout and going about in the world with it. After washing many times, the fabric will turn frail and you need something to give it a little bit of more structure. So what you're going to do is you can put it either on, let me remove this too. You can put this fabric either on the outside part of your garment or on the inside, so it only peeks a little bit of color through the holes that you have.
So do I need to cut my fabric in 2 pieces so I have 2 pieces? Or can I, is
Yeah.
that what I should do? Because I just have
Yeah.
a scrap fabric we're going to play with. All right, so.
I have these 2 squares. I'm
Gee.
going to teach you some stitching. They're always almost the same for everything, but you can give it different looks. And this is what makes visible mending interesting, because you can do whatever the hell you want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's decorative.
So you will need, well, the piece you want to mend. You will need the fabric that you want to add to it. Pins, a needle, some embroidery thread or some thicker thread. Not just doing thread, because then it's just not going to really show what you're doing, and the main reason you're doing this is to show the mending part. That's why it's called visible mending.
Because it's visible.
And I have cheap embroidery fabric. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. This is from the dollar store, so you can find it pretty easy anywhere. When you buy it in this weird bundle, you need to cut it to the length that you need, like a normal thread. But I don't know if you can see that it's really thick, so you have to unroll it a little bit and take like 2 or 3 threads from this thicker thread to use.
Now you tell me. I've been sitting here trying to thread my needle with all of this embroidery thread. So 2 or 3.
No, you can do that if you want to have more chunky details.
Okay.
But I always use 2 to 3. I'm using 3 here because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. But 2 to 3 is okay.
Okay. And how long should I cut this thread? Like, do I need like a couple feet?
I would say about, I don't know, 1 meter.
Okay, I'm American. I'm American.
Yeah. Wait a second. Let me call Mr. Google.
Get your conversion. Okay, I think it's probably like a couple. I think that's probably like a couple feet.
1 meter to.
So it's all knotting up when I try to separate it.
No.
I feel like I'm in an episode of
seem a
SeamStressed.
little bit too much. Wait. No. This is too much.
I think I'm in an episode of SeamStressed because I'm the one who's doing the bad.
11 inches.
Oh, good.
So 11 inches.
It's perfect.
Because
I got
this
it.
is like 30 centimeters, so it's fine.
Okay.
So the first thing is the simplest one. Let's pretend we want the fabric on the inside of the garment. That you want to just the color to peek through the hole.
Okay.
That you see on your thing.
Here, I can make a hole.
From,
Wait, let me make a hole.
yeah, I pre-cut the hole here.
Okay, I got a hole. And you guys somebody post in the chat and just reassure me that everything's okay now and that you're hearing and seeing this properly. The last thing I see was from Gina asking for an additional tutorial. Totally, absolutely. I think Gina should pick a tutorial that she wants me to make, and I will make it. So Gina, pick something you want me to make with paper beads, and I will make a tutorial just for you on how to do whatever it is.
So what you don't want to do is to pull both sides of the thread and then do a knot on the end at the end of it, like you would normally do if you were sewing, because otherwise it's too thick and you waste a little too much thread.
Okay.
So just leave it like this. Let's see if I can show. Like one side is longer than the other.
Okay, yeah.
But just enough that you can put it through the fabric without losing the needle. And then you make a small knot on the longer side of it.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. So what you're gonna do is gonna do this from the outside in, a little bit further than where the fabrics, the fixing fabric starts.
So I should have my my pattern side of my fabric, which would be like the outside of my pants or dress, facing the table, right? Facing down on the table.
Your right side should
up.
be facing the table.
Okay. And I'm putting the. Hold on, I have a needle in my mouth, and I'm putting the fabric that I want to patch with, so that they can see it through the hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have your jeans right side facing the table.
Okay.
And then you put your fabric on top of the hole, how you wish to position it. So I don't know, it shows the.
Yeah. Okay.
The pattern or something like this.
All
and
right.
then what you do is you're gonna start just thread a little bit further than where the colorful fabric starts, and then you just go in and out. You don't need to do it perfect. I don't know, I don't like things to be the same size all the time. I think it looks more interesting if you just...
So am I just doing like a loose stitch, like a real loose stitch, basically?
Not so loose, because you're going to go in zigzag form until your thread ends, and then you're going to start again. You sew all of this fabric to your jeans.
Okay. But it doesn't have to, so you're saying it doesn't have to be perfect. I can have longer stitches and shorter stitches?
Yeah. Or if you want it to be perfect, you can use a tailor's chalk to make the markings where you want the length of your stitch to be, or something like this. But this is the simple one, just go in and out.
Yeah, that's pretty much when I try to sew straight, it's all different sizes. So this is like the perfect craft for me.
Yeah. And I think it looks way more interesting if you don't have it to, like, the perfect length.
Like too perfect.
what you're going to do when you get here is you're going to go out.
You're at the corner?
Yeah,
okay.
The corner.
All right,
and
hold on.
You want to be on the wrong side.
Okay. All right, I'm with you. I'm at the corner. I'm pulled through the wrong side. Okay.
Yeah, so you are also here a little bit further than the end of the fabric, and then you're going to just turn it and start again. You can either do the, I don't know what it's called, it's parallel stitching, where you have all of your stitches aligned.
Or zigzag.
Like this, and then you try to go.
I want a bigger hole. I'm cutting a bigger hole in my fabric because it doesn't look, it's not, you can't tell because I'm using the same fabric underneath, so it's not.
Yeah.
All right. Ow, I almost cut myself. Emergency room.
Oh no, oh no.
All right, so then I'm just going to go back across. I think I'm going to do a zigzag.
Yeah, you can also do that.
Okay.
You can, let me just finish here and then I can show. You can intercalate the...
Okay. Oh, I see how close you are. So you're lining up your stitches next to each other.
Yeah, I'm lining the stitches next to each other, not so far away, because you want to give the fabric that's broken, you want to give it some structure. So if you do it too far apart, it's not going to really work, and then when we're wearing, it's going to start to make some weird, what's the name of it? Mensch. It's going to start folding in a weird way, so you're going to have some weird gaps.
Okay.
So you don't need to do it really close to each other, but don't do it like a lot.
Okay, I get you.
I would say a quarter of inch, maybe.
Okay. I get you. So,
Yeah.
All right. So while I'm working my way down this second row, let's have our chat part. Let's start our chat part. So if you guys have questions for me or Nani, pop them in the chat, because part of what we want to do here with coffee and crafting is we want to get to know some of the brilliant crafters that are around. And so we're going to, as we're working in the gaps where she's not having to explain something to me, we're going to talk about things. So, so you told me about your channel and what you do. What is so you do a lot of different crafts. So what is your very favorite craft that you do?
I love sewing. I try to focus more on sewing, although I do everything, like painting and just creating stuff in general. But I try always to make it somewhat connected to fashion, because this is what I like to do, and I love like complicated constructions and I don't know, so garment engineering. Like the more complicated, the better.
Garment engineering. That's because it is. It's like that. You guys see my, I have glasses on. They're pink leopard glasses.
Oh, I have an orange leopard one.
So, okay, so I'm at the end of my second row. So do I just go take a stitch like behind? So there's the front side that's going to be seen if this were a garment. So I can just, do I space the third row the same distance apart as the first two?
If you want to, you don't need to. As long as you don't make them too far apart from each other, it's okay how you wish to space it. There are people that like to do it like really perfect and everything is like set and measured and marked, but I'm not like that.
Okay.
So
yeah, I tend to be more of a messy.
It's up to you.
I tend to be more messy myself. So Gina says she would be happy with another tutorial on anything beads, perhaps barefoot sandals. Now that is an idea I haven't even
really
thought of. I've never thought about how to do the sandals. I guess I would get like a base on them and then, yeah. That actually, Nani, that might be one you're gonna have to give me some advice on, because you've made stuff like that, right? Shoes? Have you made shoes?
Yeah. Not necessarily shoes. I'm working on a project now for a paper shoe.
A paper shoe.
That I want it to be a wearable paper mache shoe.
That's kind of cool.
I'm facing some challenges. Let's put it like that.
I can imagine.
Okay, so your thing is looking pretty good. Then I'm gonna teach you another one.
Okay.
So we don't need to do everything until, but you want to go into this sort of zigzag fashion until you're done.
Okay.
With the fabric. If you feel that it's enough structure for the new one, you can stop it like that. And if you like it, just the zigzag, you can leave it like that, or you can then add a cross stitch. Like, for example.
I wonder if I can. I was hoping I could like zoom you in, but I can't. Okay. I can show them what you're doing if they can't see it. So you just went like up over the stitch to make it like an X.
Yeah, so you just go up
like that.
Over the stitch like this. Wait.
There we go. Oh, I kind of like that. I think I like that even better. So I might go back over mine.
Oops. So mine are too close, so you're not going to be able to see the detail that much. So when you're when you're doing the cross stitching, you can leave a little bit more space between the stitches from the rows, because you are going to add the stitch in the middle that will hold the fabric down. So let me start a new one here, so just so you can see what I mean.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just make 2 quick rows here.
Boy, it's been forever since I did hand sewing, and I'm really bad at this. Like, my stitches are a little bit messy. But you can do this any way you want, right? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's your thing. So you see I left almost like 1 finger between the lines.
Okay, much wider.
Yeah. Because now I can go back.
And hi to anyone who's just joining us. I see we have a few more people popping on. I can tell just with the numbers. So hello, this is Nani from SeamStressed channel on YouTube, and she is showing me how to do decorative stitching, and we are just chatting and learning a little bit about crafts and each other. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So I would finish it here, just cut and start then from above, but I'm just gonna jump from the side so you see what I mean.
Oh, I just went through the wrong place.
Let me cut this. Let's do this right. So you're gonna go like this.
Okay, so I'm going to try to show them what you're doing here in a sec. So if you just came on, Nani's on my phone because we had some trouble trying to get the Skype call to stream through the YouTube. We're going to keep working on that, though, if I'm not giving up. I will not be beaten. So what do you do when you get a big old knot of fabric on the back of your work? La, la, la.
Just take it off the needle and try to straighten it a little bit. Sometimes it works.
Okay. If not, I'll just start with a new thread. Here, you know what? Yeah. I think I'm going to just cut this and start with a new thread. Then I got to thread my needle again. All right.
Yeah, so this is the pattern that you were going to be making if you use the cross stitching. So this is what you would see. Can you see this?
I'm trying to hold it up to the camera a little bit for them, but I'm going to try to replicate. So what we did is we had just 2 that were further apart. So I'm going to do 2 stitches that are a little further apart. Like that.
Wait, I cannot see your head.
Oh, sorry. And then you're just doing the cross right over it.
Yeah, you do the crossing.
So like this. And so you could just make these little crosses all through the fabric. And do you go right over the hole then and like sew these into the hole as well?
Yeah, you keep going in the hole because you want to make this more stable as well, because otherwise the fabric will continue to frail until you have no fabric left.
Got it. Oh, I just lost off my needle. All right, now we get to see me try and thread this again. So while I'm doing this, hold on. I'll tell you guys. So you guys are awesome. Some of the folks who were on early sat here for like 30 minutes waiting for us to figure the technology out. And you should see, like, I was determined. I was absolutely determined to make this work. So I did everything. I called the internet company, and they did all this magic with my modem, because I tried on a different computer first, and the different computer did the same thing my computer did. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be my internet connection. So then I called, and they did all this magic from afar with my internet connection and my modem, and that didn't work. That didn't help. Okay, now I hear we've got my four crosses stitches. That's pretty. I like that.
Yeah.
And then
so this is me. Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go.
This is a stitch that you want to work from the outside, because turn it around and then you see what I mean, that you won't have crosses on the outside.
Yeah.
You're gonna have this points here, which also is not bad, but if you want to show the cross, then you have to work this from the outside.
Yeah, I would probably do it from the outside so I can figure out what I'm doing as I go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just make sure that you put all the transition stitches on the inside part where you cannot see.
Behind it.
Yeah.
What other kinds of patterns and shapes would look good?
So I will show you another one as soon as I finish wrestling my thread.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Well, while we're getting our thread wrestled,
continue your story about the turnips.
So this morning I get up. So it's spring break. Today's the first day of spring break, so we got to sleep in, which is nice. But I didn't mean to sleep in as long as I did. So I get up at 10:30. I'm like, oh no, I've got to go to the cable place, and because they told me I had to turn in my modem and get a new modem, and they were gonna send it to me, and I'm like, no, that's not fast enough. They're like, what do you do? I said I stream to YouTube, and to them, like, they don't understand what that means. They think it means like I watch YouTube videos. They're like, and they didn't understand. So anyway, I grabbed the modem, and my poor husband and son, who, they're both home today from school and work. So I left, and they had no internet while I was gone. And I also had to pick up like bread and milk, because we have tornadoes today. There's like tornadoes all over the state of North Carolina today.
Wow.
And so, you live in the South, it's mandatory. If there's any kind of disaster, flooding, hurricane, snow, the first thing you do is run to the grocery store and get bread and milk. Gina has a question. What size needle are you using?
I was about to check that out.
Okay. So yeah, so that's what you do, is you run, if there's any kind of natural disaster in North Carolina, the first thing you do is run to the grocery store and stand in a really big line, and everybody has bread and milk, and the shelves are empty. They were literally putting more bread on the shelf as I went through there. Although it wasn't as bad today as it normally is. I guess tornadoes aren't quite as bad as hurricanes and snow, but yeah. So then I had to do that, and by the time I got home, they were playing a card game, which I thought was kind of nice. Like, maybe I should take away the modem more often. Find other things to do. So anyway, that's my story. And then, it was working great. I tested it on a Skype call with myself, and it worked perfectly. And then, of course, as soon as we get on the long distance Skype, everything blew up. But you guys are awesome. You waited for us, so thank you. Did you figure out the needle size? There we go.
It's number 6. I wrote in the chat.
Oh, yeah, there it is, number 6 in the chat. Okay, all right, my thread is wrangled. Now I just got to put it in thread the needle.
Okay, so another thing that you can do as well, this works pretty nice if you want to have a fabric on the outside of your garment, is a spirally pattern. So It's the same thing, you just go in and out all the time, but in circles. So this might seem or sound a little bit intimidating, but it's not that complicated.
I so need to find a needle threader. I suck at this.
Oh, I have one here, but I always lose it, so
got it.
I have to fight the needle all the time.
Okay. All right, I got it. Okay, so let me see. So did you start in the center of the circle, or are you starting the outside? You started in the center, it looks like.
You start in the center and you go out.
Okay, and you're doing this from the back? The back side?
I'm doing this from the right side.
The right
now
side.
I want my beautiful yellow fabric to be on the outside part of my jeans.
Okay. All right, let me make my knot here. Then I'm going to start doing my circle. Okay, so I'm looking at the outside. So
I'm going to go turning it around and trying to keep the same distance between the lines. You don't need to align the stitches, but I think it looks better when the distance is a little bit more constant than just having.
Okay. Good luck with that. That's not a strong suit of mine, but I'm going to do my best. And really, I'm a little nervous about making an actual circle here and not like an oval or a very odd shape that nobody can understand what it is.
But also it doesn't matter. Because once you, like, for example, here, I just did this part, and when you go around and you keep doing it, then it starts taking shape. So the bigger it is, the better it is to understand what you're trying to do.
Oh, I see. Oops, I just went through the wrong side of my...
So even if it's not that round in the center, like mine here, like it's a little bit chunky.
Okay.
Once you go further out, then it's going to keep going.
Okay.
So I'm just doing this so we don't lose too much time in drawing on the fabric.
Yeah.
So
I went into the... So my thread came out the right side, and then I somehow ended up going back in the wrong side. So now I'm faced with, do I cut the thread? Because if I just pull it off the needle, I have to rethread the needle, which could take forever. I'm
cut it off, start again.
Disaster. Okay, Candy says you do it in the Midwest too with the whole grocery store thing. All right, I'm just going to, since this is just a demonstration, I'm just cutting my thread and we're going to start over. I'm going to pick it up where it was. Yeah, it doesn't happen. So I grew up in Ohio, Candy, and it does not happen in Ohio. In Ohio, when they say like a storm's coming, nobody even notices, number one. And then number two, like if it's a tornado, because they don't have hurricanes really up there, but they have tornadoes. When I was younger and there was a tornado warning, everybody just used to go out and hang out in the driveway and wait for it and be like, hey, there it is. Nobody was afraid. Ohioans aren't afraid of anything, man. They're a tough bunch. You have to be to survive the winter.
I've never seen a tornado, but I've seen one of those water...
like a water spout?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen that.
Because in Brazil, we also don't have those.
Hey, Kim. Welcome, welcome. You missed some very stimulating technical difficulties, but we are all moving along now. So you don't have tornadoes, but you have water spouts in Brazil? Because you're from Brazil. So you live in Germany now, but you're originally from Brazil.
Yeah, correct. And I live here since 2012.
That was my next question. Okay.
2012. This weird country with weird people.
Well, what is your favorite thing about living in Germany?
Favorite thing about living in Germany? There are so many things that I like, because it's something that I cannot really... Everybody asks me what's the difference between living here and living in Brazil, but it's so different. They're so polar opposites that I cannot really compare or say, okay, this is what I hate, this is what I like. I grew up... The city where I come from is very German, and my family is German, so I was kind of raised German, but in Brazil. So for me, it was not that much of a culture shock when I came here, because things work. What I notice here is that the public things, like departments and everything. They're more organized than in Brazil, but you still lose a lot of time when you have to go like to the DMV or whatever. But here is more organized. But which also means that they cannot think outside of the box. So if I go to a place and I say I need pink paint, they will tell me we don't have pink. But they will not tell me, but we have red and white. So if you want, you know?
Uh-huh.
So everything is very square and very, like, German. I don't know how to put this. It's very German.
Kim said she was born in Germany.
Really? Cool.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, so Kim actually has been through an F4, the one in Tuscaloosa. That is terrifying, Kim. Terrifying. I'm so glad you're okay. I hope you didn't have any terrible damage or lose anybody close to you, because that was, I remember that in 2011. It was awful. Awful, awful. And Candy, she used to go up to the highest hill on their bike and watch the tornadoes. I know, right? Because Midwesterners are tough. Okay, I am totally butchering this. Yeah. I probably would have...
show you something.
Okay, go ahead.
So I painted here the whole thing, otherwise we're going to be sitting here until tomorrow. And you need to go and stitch around the whole fabric that you're using to give more stability. You cannot leave, like, finish here and then you have, like, an ear hanging, because you're going to get stuck everywhere, especially if it's on the outside of your jeans, for example.
Uh-huh.
So you need to make sure that you finish the circle until you're done.
I see. So you got to get all the way to the corner. So you're going to go partially out on the outside, the original garment. Yeah. And I'm holding you up to the camera so they can see a little better, although my camera seems to be focusing in and out. But see, probably what would work better for me is if I got like a chalk pencil or something and drew like you did and then tried to stitch it. So I had like a paint, it's kind of like sew by numbers.
Yeah.
Because mine is, I like totally butchered this. Mine looks terrible. But that's okay. I didn't expect anything else. I'm not nearly as talented as you in the sewing area. I'm better with paper beads for sure.
Yes, I'm turning into an expert now, because after 5 hours of paper bead rolling today, I can say that.
Show us your paper beads. Do you have them right there?
I have them right here. Let me just dump them on the table.
All right, here, let me pick up
all of those paper beads.
I'll pick up again. So she was new. She never did this before, and I sent her some bead rollers. And now, look at that. That is massive. Now you have to glaze them.
A lot of beads.
So here's one of the dilemmas with paper beading. So when you have that many beads, so far in my series on glazing, I've only done brush on. Although the one that I'm posting on Sunday is not brush on. It is not a brush on glaze. It's different. It's not dipping either. It's a whole different method. But I am going to do the dipping method. And you guys, I have never done the dipping method for paper beads. So I'm going to construct a contraption for dipping. And then we're going to dip, and that'll be one of the videos in the series. So when you have as many beads as you have, Nani, I'm almost thinking a dipping. You may want to wait for my dipping video.
Yeah, but definitely. Have you ever thought about airbrushing?
A what?
Airbrushing?
No. Airbrushing the beads?
Yeah, because I think this glaze that you sent me, this diamond glaze, it's a little bit too thick. But if you have something that's a little bit...
it's neat.
Like a little bit more liquid.
Yeah. Well, you can. It's water soluble, so you could actually add some water to that, and then I don't know how it would hold up.
Coats.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I think that would be a great thing. Because these beads that I made are made from old brochures from the company where I work. So I'm gonna have to paint them in order to finish the project that we're working on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to airbrush them, because otherwise I'm going to stay forever with a brush on them.
That's not a bad idea.
And I don't have time for that.
No. The only airbrush that I have is it's actually a makeup airbrush. But that's the same. I mean, it's the same as a paint airbrush.
It's the same. You just have to check in the manual what's the thickness required for the paint that you're using, but it's the same.
Yeah, so maybe because I did the spray on makeup for a while because I'm not one for I don't wear a lot of makeup normally. I wear makeup every day, but not a ton, and I don't wear foundation at all. So I was trying to do the airbrushed foundation, but it's too much work. So maybe I can put that to use in crafting. So I might have to maybe I'll add that to the glaze series, you guys. Yeah, and so let's see. Kim says she uses extra thick embossing powder to coat my beads. Kim, you must be reading my mind because the video that's coming out on Sunday is embossing powders. And it's not just clear embossing powders. I've got some other tricks up my sleeve with embossing powders that I'm going to show you. I filmed it all yesterday, and I'm editing today. So it'll be the video that goes up for Sunday evening. Yay! Gina's got a ton of questions on dipping. Me and you both, Gina, I've never dipped. So, and I've been kind of reading about it, and there's so many different methods that people are trying, and I'm trying to pull sort of like what I think are the best tips and get them all together. And then I was debating if I should do it live or record it. I think I'm going to record it though, because I think live makes me nervous after this. It's the Skype, it's the distance that makes this live so technically difficult. Regular lives go no problem for me. And then Candy says dipping is easier said than done. That's what I think. It seems like a lot of work to me. I mean, I can do 2 coats on beads with the brush, but you got to do like 6 dips. So we're going to find out, though. That's why we're doing the series on glaze, to find out. And then at the end, after I feel like I've done enough different glazes, we're going to do a sort of like I almost think of it like a Mythbusters episode where we're going to take all the different beads. Because look, I've got them all in these separate little baggies so that I remember exactly which bead is which. And we're going to do a list, like a grid list of like, okay, shine and hardness and water proof. And I was like, maybe I might smash it with a hammer and see how hard they are. I don't know. So we're going to do a bunch of different tests and see how they all perform in the different areas. So that should be a lot of fun. All right. You got anything else for us on the sewing part?
I have another one that's a complicated one.
Oh, no. I might just have to. No. I'll attempt it. I'm going to get a color that is a little brighter so we can see it better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for this one, it's when you want to mend something without adding an extra fabric. Or, for example, when you have a sweater that's falling apart, that you can do this as well. What you're going to need is then the full embroidery thread. You don't take it apart.
Okay,
you
good.
Might need a thicker needle. Mine is okay for this amount of threads in this one.
I think this is the biggest
one. Or you can use wool that matches your, like wool with the same thickness of your sweater or the thing that you're trying to, like for knits.
Other uses for paper bead rollers, I'm using it to push my needle out of the little pack because I couldn't get it out.
Oh yeah.
Paper bead rollers are super handy.
You know what I did yesterday? I was rolling here and like it was in my zen, and then I saw I have a very beautiful screwdriver, electric screwdriver. It's pink. This beautiful thing.
I love that. Can you guys see her pink screwdriver? That is awesome. A power screwdriver.
And I thought, what would happen if I attached the bead roller to this screwdriver?
Did you do it?
Would I be able to roll faster? So I took duct tape and I tried it, and I was able actually to roll like 10 before it fell apart. But maybe this is something you can consider for the future, like an automatic bead roller.
You should do a SeamStressed video on that. That would be hilarious.
Yes.
How to automate your own bead rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on my needle now.
You're on your needle now.
Yep.
Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have to base to make a stay stitch on the corner of this hole that you have.
On the corner of
Just
the
a
hole?
simple in and out
Am
thing
I...
so that it stops frailing.
Wait, which am I right side? Which side am I out?
In the wrong side. Wait. Yeah, in the wrong side.
Okay, I'm gonna put this one. Okay, I just cut more off my fabric so because it was getting a little crowded. Okay, so I am.
You do that on the whole corner of the hole.
Are you
so
out?
It's,
Are you outside the fabric? Outside the patch fabric?
Yeah, my fabric doesn't have a side, so I'm considering the inside. This is like right side facing down.
Okay, but then where you did your stitches, it doesn't look like you're overlapping the second piece of fabric.
No, this is only one fabric.
Oh, I couldn't see. Okay.
Yeah, but this don't want to use a fabric to do something.
So this is if there's a hole in it and you're trying to...
Yeah, so this is for, I would say, for newer jeans that are not that frail. But except you're going somewhere and you got stuck to a needle or like to a nail or something and it ripped.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm putting a hole in mine.
So you do this all around. And I'm not going to do it because otherwise you're going to stay here forever.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to go on a zigzag form here. And it needs to be closer to each other, to one another, so don't leave too much space. And you don't need to make it the same length. You can go more or less depending on the effect that you want to give to the mending.
Oh, I see what you're doing. So I'm holding you up to the camera so they can see it.
So you're not trying to close the hole. You're just trying to stitch over it, like try to keep the size the same, because otherwise you're going to change the fit of your garment, and we don't want that.
So you're kind of like creating a patch for it. Like the thread creates a patch over the hole.
Yeah, correct.
Nice.
So you're going to go on this zigzag form until the end. Oops. And once you're done, you are going to come back on this side, but you have to weave the thread. So you're going to go up and down. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to see that close together. The camera's not focusing. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Oh, yeah, so you're just weaving it in between the threads like a loom.
Yeah. So you go like this. And, of course, to the end, and then you come back.
Oh, now that is neat.
Yeah, so, oops, here, I made a mistake. Wait. What? Stop it.
I never even thought of doing it that way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can weave then back and forth, and then you make your own fabric. How cool is that?
That is really cool. Actually, I might be able to see it better without my glasses because the screen's further away. That is pretty neat. So, Candy, so rough edges, rough ends. So, do you mean that the glaze it was dripping down from bead to bead, and then it left like a bunch of crusty, like extra glaze on the ends of the beads? Is that what you're talking about? Because I've seen some people, they put the beads right up against each other so that there's not a lot of room between beads, and then they break them apart afterwards. So, is that kind of what you're talking about? That it leaves like the glaze drips between the beads and creates just like a glaze bridge. I don't know what to call it between the beads. Because that way I know what problems to solve for you guys in my testing. All right, I'm going to put this down and try to do at least a couple of passes here with the weaving idea.
So I did here, I do far apart, so only that you can see how it looks like. But let me put the yellow fabric here, so a little bit contrast.
That looks nice.
Yeah, so if you want to do this on a garment, you should put the thread a little bit closer to each other, or you make it a little bit more spacious and you put then another thread in another color between. So you have two colors. And this is not something complicated to do, it's just, it takes a little time. So it's one day when you're bored, it's raining, and you don't have anything better to do with your life, then you sit down and do some such things.
Tornadoes are coming for you.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to hide. So then you do this.
Nice. All right. I'm going to just go to the end and try it right here for speed's sake. Let me get through this side, and then I'm going to go and try it. Okay. Oops. This is why I'm much better with a machine than I am with hand sewing. All right. So you just take it from this side, and I go over my hole with the thread and in past my other stitch on the other side. Oh, I don't have enough. I didn't get enough thread for this. Figures. Okay. Yeah, and I can see.
You can also do this with the machine too.
Oh, dog. Bailey. Shush. That's my dog. He was so good. He was like asleep, and then something woke him up. What are you doing, buddy? Okay, and then so, okay, I know you can't see this, so I'm going to try to describe it for you. So I put my first thread over the hole, and I went in into the fabric. Now, when I come back, do I want to come across on the back side, or do I want to come across back in the front? Like, do I want to go through the fabric, punch through the fabric to the front, and then go back across? Or did you go across the back?
I go across the back.
Okay, so just like you just make a big circle.
Like you have to go across on one side, either the back or the front. So you have to choose.
Oh, so you keep it on the back or on the front?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So I'm going to push back through. Okay. And go over. Okay. Yeah, this would probably work better for the smaller holes for sure.
Yeah.
Be a little less time consuming.
And it works really cool for sweaters.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
Hey, Bailey.
If you have a sweater, then you would do this considering the lines of the sweater. Like you have this. How can I explain that?
Here's Bailey. I'm putting Bailey on camera. This is my Bailey dog, everybody. Say hi, Bailey. Hello, everybody. He has no idea what I'm doing. He's like, what? Is there food up here? What are you doing?
Cute.
And then there's the cat. The other day, Wednesday, when we were trying to do this live originally, I don't think I told this story, Nani, you know, but I was just getting everything set up, and I have like, the hands cam is like hanging right here above my hands, and one of my cats, who's Lucy, she's kind of the mean cat of the two. She's like very particular. Like you can only pat her on the top of the head. If you touch her back, she bites you. She's like one of those cats. But she walks up here and she's walking around my desk, and I'm like, oh, hey, Lucy, you came to see me. She takes a huge bite right out of the cord of my webcam. Just like right in front of me. Just like, and completely ruins it. Completely broke the cord. Luckily, I had a second one. So now I'm in the market for a new webcam, because sometimes I use two webcams to give two angles, and so I need another webcam. But that was fun. Wednesday had a lot of funny, interesting challenges, didn't it?
Yes. Oh, baby's so cute.
Oh, thank you. He's my baby dog. He's rescued. He's a rescued dog.
Yeah, our cats are rescue, but Sushi, we got her from a breeder because in Germany it's weird because the dogs that are in the pound, they have a lot of problems, issues, like dogs that were abused, and they have a list of problems on the kennel you can read, and all of them either had problems with cats or problems with babies or problems with children or something. And since I work a full-time job, I thought I don't have, unfortunately, the time to stay home and take care that my cats are not eaten or that the dog is not eaten, that the cats don't attack the dog.
Right.
So that's we got the baby, and we are trying to make Sushi be very sociable so we can then rescue a dog, and then Sushi will be the mastermind in the house.
Sushi's
Although
adorable.
The cats are the bosses here, so.
And Sushi makes appearances in a lot of your videos because I've seen, so the Snorlax, so she did a Snorlax dog bed. And Sushi did, okay, the thumbnail on your Snorlax dog bed video, Sushi is laying on the bed and he looks kind of like, is he smiling or snarling?
I took the picture while she was yawning.
Oh, okay.
And it looks terrible, as if she was growling or something.
I was like,
I found it so funny I had to use it.
I was like, how did she get the dog to do that?
I just pressed the shutter button at the exact same time that she started yawning.
That's funny. That's so funny. Well, I think we should probably wrap it up. So we've got a prize to give away because I promised for some prizes. Gina, I will do the sandals. I've been challenged by Gina to do some paper bead sandals. So I can't promise when that video is going to come out. It may take me a couple weeks, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out. I have no idea how to make sandals, but I'm going to make them for you. So we got that on tap. And then I think we should give something away. Let's see. What do you guys want for prizes? I know there's a lag. It may take a second for your ideas to come up, but I could do a finished piece of jewelry, or I could do some rollers. So tell me what you guys would like for prizes. Sorry, I have a text message coming up there. We'll wait just a second for the video to catch up, and you guys can tell me what you want for prizes. I got all kinds of text messages coming up. What do you think, Nani? What should I give away? What do you think?
I think maybe some jewelry. Because I particularly like things that people did and like took their time to do, and jewelry was one of those things.
Yeah, I would. I may give away some jewelry. That's a good idea. We'll see what they say. I'm still waiting for some things to pop up. So one thing, this is a good opportunity to tell you guys about this. So I've been wanting to do like a giving back program with my business, and I've been searching for a good kind of a cause to support, and I've talked to a couple, but here's what I've decided to do. So I'm going to start posting the finished jewelry from my tutorials, and a big portion of the proceeds, which is going to be around 70%, because I'd have to take out operating costs and credit card fees and stuff like that. So it'll end up being around 70% is going to get donated. And the two places that I'm going to start donating to, one of them is kiva.org, which is a organization that does micro lending to businesses that are in financially disadvantaged areas. And they do 80 countries, including the U.S., so it's available for people in the United States, and you can start lending with as little as $25. So I'm going to be posting some finished jewelry on the store at paperbeadrollers.com, and then all those proceeds are going to end up going to a project on kiva.org. Or I'm also, one thing I have funded myself before and that I would love to fund is DonorsChoose.org. And DonorsChoose.org is a platform for public school teachers who don't have adequate funding in their classrooms, because we all know in the U.S. Public school systems, I mean, I'll be honest, my son's school is awesome. I absolutely love it. He has some really amazing teachers over the years. But they struggle too. They struggle with doing things for the kids like having the right kind of seating, or sometimes it's even like having markers and paper. Some public school systems are so underfunded they can't even provide paper to their students or copy paper to the teachers. So when a teacher has a need, they go and create on donorschoose.org, and then we as citizens can go in there and choose to fund things. So on Kiva.com, it's a loan, and the business owner actually pays the money back, and then you can reinvest it with another business. But with Donors Choose, it's just a donation. So those are the two that I'm going to be doing. So I'll send out an email about that. So it looks like we've got some rollers and some paper strips. So let's do some rollers. How about we'll do a set of 2 rollers, and I'm going to pop on. I want how many? Let me see. I'm gonna randomly pick a number, and then the person who makes a comment that is that number, and I think I could go back. How do I want to do this? I'm going to post a comment, and I want you guys to make a comment after me, and then I'm going to randomly pick a number, and whichever one of you comments that number will be the winner. So I'm going to put make a comment now. Okay, anybody comment after my comment where I said make a comment now? I'm not going to look. And then I'm going to randomly choose a number. So you can comment once, twice, 3 times. Nani, can you see comments?
I can see comments, yeah.
You can? Okay, will you tell me when people start commenting on that because of the lag? It may take a second. And I don't want to look at the screen. Because I have a number in my head. Actually, let me write it down right now so we know. And then whoever's comment is on that number, that's who's going to win. I think it's a set of 2 bead rollers. Let's do the red and blue. Okay, I'm writing a number.
Drum roll.
I know. Now we got to wait. And after this, we'll close it up for the day. I just want to make sure you guys are awesome for staying with us. Danny and I really appreciate that you hung with us for the technology. Was it who went and took a shower? Was it Sarah? Smart thinking, Sarah. Smart thinking, my friend.
So we have the first number.
Okay, we'll wait until a few go up, because.
Yeah.
And then we'll give away our prize. Because, I mean, when it's your birthday week, you got to give prizes. And we hit 100. I don't know if you guys saw, but I added a prize to the live stream for my birthday. So there's 5 prizes to win. 1 that was given away and 5 more to win. And we have until 6 o'clock today. If we can hit 200, I'm not looking at the screen because I don't want to see the comment, what number everybody's comments are. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now. I already wrote it down. I wrote it on this paper.
So we have a few numbers now.
Okay, we'll give you guys just another minute to catch up in case anyone's internet is slow. If anybody else wants to be considered for a prize. Because I think there's still Kim and a couple other people who've been chatting with us that haven't popped up. We'll give them a second. What was I? Oh, now I lost track of what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So we have till 6 o'clock Eastern time today, and it's 3:46, a couple more hours, to try and get the number of views on that to be 200. So if we get to 200, I'll add another prize. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're ready. So the number that I wrote down was the number 4. If you can see it on here, number 4. And so, Candy, you won again. Candy already won a whole set. So Candy, you want paper strips instead? Because that's what you posted up there. I'll be glad to send you a whole bunch of really cool paper strips instead, and we'll throw in some of the new Buko bead ones and some really neat papers that I have. I'll cut you a bunch of strips and send it off with your prize that you won earlier. How about that? I think Candy should go buy a lottery ticket. That's her second one she's won. And she may win more later today. Gina says, great video, Nani. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping by. I was about to write that in the chat.
Yeah. And put your channel. Did you get your channel link in there for them so they can come over and check you out and subscribe to Nani's channel?
I will
if you
put
would.
it again. I think it was in the other stream that failed.
And we're going to work on this. We're going to do this at least one more, like you and me, we need to work on this and see if we can't figure out how to do this. Or actually, you know what? It works on your end when we do it to your channel. Maybe we can do another one on your channel so that people can see up close what you're doing. How about that?
Yeah, we
all
can
right.
do that.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here with us. We love you all so much. And